Does anyone remember how in my last video I said that Stede and Ed could become like Anne and Mary, with Stede wanting to stay at sea and Ed wanting to retire? Yeah. Hey guys, this is not going to be a fun video. Last week I had a little bit of hope left for the series, but this week it's kind of gone. My last video was kind of controversial because I said that this season kind of sucks ass. And I had so many comments that were just saying, oh, but there's still season 3 going on. Eds can be still redeemed in season 3. But this week, I better not see any comments like that, because what the fuck was this? If you want to write a comment about why season 3 is going to fix everything and that it doesn't matter that none of the arcs are finished this season and shit like that, then don't. Please read the Tumblr post that I made. I'm not going to read it here, it's really fucking long. If you want to talk about that, then respond to that Tumblr post, don't comment it here, we can discuss it there. Today we'll also have a disclaimer for people that like this season and like watching it and don't see anything wrong with it. Don't watch this video. I don't want to ruin that for you in any way. This video is going to be mainly negative because I can't watch the show like that. I just see too many mistakes. But if you don't see them and are happy with this season, then don't watch this. I really don't want you to ruin the experience for yourself. Click off right now, enjoy the next episode that is going to come out. I'm really happy for you and I hope to see you some other time. And to people that actually stuck around and care to hear what I have to say, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. Big thanks to Vic for once again helping me with some of the points. Thank you, Vic. Love you. And without any more stalling, let's get into it. There are not many, but I quite enjoy something, so I'm just going to mention it here before we start because the rest of the video isn't going to be on this high of a note, and I don't want this video to be just completely negative. The entire clock plot with Ricky was really well set up as a B-plot, and because the episode was so chaotic, I didn't really pay much attention to it until it was too late. This Pride Parade thing they went to, and also Ed giving kids knives, Stede making the crew mutiny by just showing them bare minimum kindness, kind of parallels the scene where he made the aristocrats set the ship on fire by just sulking. Alu, Jim and Archie dancing, Stede drinking heavily, how the fuck did he not get drunk afterwards? Frenchie starting another scam, this entire Lucius and Pete scene, this post-credit scene, and that's it. Let's discuss the rest. Izzy is still the highlight of this season. In episode 6, he finds Wee John doing his makeup and finds it fun, so he lets Wee John do his face too, and together they do a drag show. He purely did it to entertain the crew, and he genuinely enjoys spending time with everyone, which is just so nice. The crew grew to love Izzy very quickly. Like for example, the scene where they tell him that his and Ed's relationship is toxic, or the entire unicorn scene. And they do all this even though he was very shitty to them in season 1, which some people could find weird, you know, this dramatic character change, but I personally just see it as crew seeing this sad old man and them just growing attached to him, and then the sad old man returning the love. Izzy found a safe space in crew's company, and that's really cute. But he also started liking Stede and tolerating Ed. Izzy doesn't genuinely hate Ed, even though he fucking shot him in the leg. Like, that's the reason why he stopped the crew from actually killing him. But them talking so casually, it just feels so off. Because when you think harder about it, the only reason why this was able to happen is because Izzy internalized everything and made up a story about Shark eating his fucking leg. That is so unhealthy, and no one mentioned it again. Like, at least I hope that it would be addressed, you know, in the next fucking episode. Like, oh, Izzy, do you still think that Shark ate your leg? Maybe don't. That's not a way to cope with your feelings. But no! They just gave up on him. Like, what? Also, the sorry about your leg line made me so fucking angry. Because he said it as like, oh, by the way, sorry for shooting you. Whoopsie. I also didn't like this entire interaction. Stede is so uncaring here. He just heard that his lover, or whatever the fuck Ed is to him right now, shot someone because they told him they love him, and he just doesn't care. Like, I know he just started his villain arc, but that just felt so off. Like, not my Stede. not my Stede bonnet. I love the fact that Izzy is still very feared at Spanish Jackies because, yeah, he was Blackbeard's right-hand man, the fucking Izzy hand, so he's still infamous, and I love that. It's also kind of like a comeback to season 1 scene, you know, when Izzy came into Spanish Jackies and Jackie was like, fucking Izzy hands? Like, what? Because, you know, he's famous. And the last thing, I absolutely hated the line. He was in love with you. At least try to sympathize a little bit. Oh, he's just jealous. Don't mind him. Fuck off.
We're family. Oh yeah, family who fucked.
This entire relationship is just such a mess. Like, at the end of episode 7, I didn't even care about them. All care that I had for them in episode 1 to 3 is just gone. Like, for example, I don't know what they're doing with Zheng. She was set up as this strong, self-righteous character. Like, she knew what she was doing and shit like that. And then she just folded. Like, she saw Olu and she was like, yeah, okay. You completely fucked me over? Oh, okay. That's okay. Sure. Let's date again. Love you. That just sucks. Like, I would like their relationship, but this was just so random. Like, what are they even doing? Then they tried to split up Olu and Jim by, you know, putting them on different ships, which is also insane because Olu was like pretty fine with leaving Jim, even though they went through all of that shit in season 1 and they were like so close. And I loved them so much in season 1. Like, they were one of my favorite characters. Their relationship was adorable. And Jim and Olu were just kind of broken up this season. Like, I thought they were doing a polycule, but not really, I guess. Like, I don't know what they're fucking doing with them. And that's the thing, they would have been an adorable polycule if they actually set them up right. Like, I would love this, but not like this. It's really obvious that they don't really care too much about these characters and their priority is Stede and Ed. And that's why they just kind of fucked around with them only to have like a B-plot for the story. And at the end of the day, I just feel so terrible for Zheng because, my god, she's been through a lot. This season was terrible for her. Like, she was here for 1 season and that 1 season completely ruined her. Like, all of her ships, gone. Her relationships, gone. Her grandma, or whatever that woman is, probably gone, because she was on the fucking ship. So how would she survive? I don't know. So yeah, long story short, Jim, Olu, Archie, Zheng would be a good polycule if they actually tried to make them a polycule, but they didn't care. Why the fuck did I keep calling them couple?
Probably need more knives. We definitely need more knives. Okay, I'll go get some. Okay.
They finished their marriage arc, which was also weird because they kind of just married because Lucius wanted to celebrate life or whatever. And afterwards, they just completely forgot about them. They weren't even on the fucking ship when the raid happened. They were literally just fucking the entire episode. But like, that scene, that was adorable. I really like that they came in to save the day too late. But you know, the problem is that they don't give a fuck about the crew this season, like, at all. I don't think they have enough time to care about the crew because it's just, the pacing is so weird. Like, that's what I keep saying. This season would be great, I think. It would be at least okay if they had more time. Like, it's very visible that it was not supposed to be 8 episodes. It kind of sucks that all of the crewmates that don't have relationships are overshadowed by the pairs on the ship. Like, that just reminded me of fucking Heartstopper. And you don't want to be compared to Heartstopper. Like, the only crew members that got screen time were Stede and Ed, Lucius and Pete, and Jim and Olu. Which compared to season 1 is so dumb because in season 1, all of the crew members had some screen time. Like, that was the fun thing about it. You saw the ship being alive, you saw all the people, you knew all of the people, and all of the interactions were really fun, and the scenes were really fun because all of these people were very entertaining and they bounced off of each other and it was really fun. That was inherently the spirit of season 1. But now they just didn't really care about the crew. Like, take fucking Roach for example. How many times have you seen Roach this season? Did you even fucking notice that he was gone for the entirety of the episode 7? No, I am not surprised. I haven't either. I only know this because of the post-credit scene. And also fucking Fang. Where was he for these 2 episodes? Why did he only show up in post-credit scenes? It's so fucking weird. I really miss everyone from season 1.
This is a victory lap then. Might take you a while with your horsey leg.
This is a weird topic. There is a lot of discourse about it. And we have to talk about it. I'm gonna start with saying I don't hate what happened. I hate how it was done. They tried to reverse the roles with Stede being now the morally grey character and Ed redeeming himself, you know, and being the righteous one, the, I don't know, fucking spiritually awakened one, but it just isn't working. Do you remember how in my last video I said that they couldn't possibly redeem Ed by the end of the season? Well, I was right. They did it in one episode. They finished his arc in episode 6. That was the entire, you've turned poison into love or whatever, I don't know, something about poison. And in the same episode, they started setting up the Stede villain arc. In episode 6 of the 8th episode season. And that's the thing. He can be a villain. Mind you, I'm not using villain as in like villain, like he's evil or something. I just didn't find a better word for it, you know, with him becoming very morally grey, and I just don't want to say Stede's morally grey arc. Every time I mention it, villain arc is just way shorter, so I'm going to use that. Stede Bonnet killing Ed actually happened in real life. Like, that's canon in the real world. I'm so chronically online, fucking Christ. So I actually really like this plot, you know, like Stede becoming worse. Remember, this is what Stede thinks a real pirate should be like. And he wants to become a real pirate for Ed. Like in episode 1, he had the entire dream where he changed the entirety of himself to be like Ed. He wants to be this cool, typical pirate. Like, that's his goal inherently. So it does make sense that this entire thing happened. They actually started setting this up in season 1, the entire unhand me or bleed scene. Like, that was Stede Bonnet inherently picking up the aggression and shit like that, and it actually started showing. So yeah, this was supposed to happen, but not like this. Because they stopped this arc in season 1, and then they just kind of forget about it for the entirety of season 2. And then he just kills a guy. Like, literally the episode before this one, he shoots into the air instead of killing a guy. He still could have shot him in the leg because, you know, that still wouldn't kill him. But no, the pacifist Bonnet would never. He just shoots into air as a warning sign because he doesn't actually want to harm anyone. It would make sense if Stede would start to get more violent and harsh throughout the season. Like, there would be these little signs. Like, for example, he would threaten someone or yell at them or start ordering people to do stuff around the ship. Stuff that real captains do. And Ed would notice that, shit, he's becoming like me, like I used to be. I used to do this. And maybe have his own "you defile beautiful things" moment. And that's why he would leave Stede. To not cause him more harm. He would notice that he's bad for him. That he taught him all of these shitty things. Then that would perfectly parallel season 1. And would be great. And, you know, would actually set up Stede's entire asshole arc. And it would show that Stede is picking up violent tendencies. And it would show why Stede is feeling this aggression now. And why he decided to kill the guy. It would make sense. Then he starts being a complete asshole, not only to everyone around him, but to Ed. And mind you, yeah, Stede is able to be an asshole. Like, for example, in season 1, at the end, when he came back to Mary, he was just a dick the entire time he was around her, to the point where she tried to actually fucking kill him. But after searching for him this entire time, after caring for him this much, doing so much for him, I just don't see a reality where he would just start calling Ed a coward for, you know, panicking. Like, not the fucking let's talk it through guy. He would never. He had such strong morals the entire last season, and even in this season until episode 5. I just can't see this happening. Like, I don't think he would lose himself this much. Like, if this actually started to get set up earlier, then yes, this would be a great arc. Like, if this was teased in episode 5, that Stede is actually kind of neglecting Ed and stuff like that because he gets lost in all the pirate stuff. Like, yes, that would be great. But it wasn't set up. To be fair, Stede did try to talk things through with Ed by saying this can be whatever we want it to be, but he also saw that Ed was not doing well and panicking, and instead of giving him some space, like he promised 2 episodes before this one, he yells at him that he's a coward. Stede was also panicking and hurt, so it does make sense that he would yell something like this without thinking it through, but I genuinely don't believe that he would resort to pity insults when he's about to lose the love of his life again. I think it doesn't really fit his character, asshole arc or not. It could fit his character if they actually started setting it up sooner. I don't believe he would change this much after one day of being famous. The entire scene where he kills Ned just feels so forced and anticlimactic. Ed just stands there and doesn't tell him much, and Stede is so very angry, but in this like very hesitant way for some reason. And then he fucking kills him by throwing the violin at him, which is just so evil. That's why it doesn't really feel like Stede really had any internal conflict there. Like, what the fuck was that? Then he has fucking flashbacks and he starts regretting stuff and then leaves. And then Ed is like, oh yeah, maybe I should check up on him. Well, maybe you should have said something useful when he was about to kill a man. Like, I know you wanted Stede to make this choice, you know, to decide for himself, but he was literally the guy that taught you that killing people is bad. He is the reason why you didn't kill him yourself. Why would you just let him do it without saying anything?
People have your face tattooed on their body?
Not just my face. Oh, wow.
Ed was an asshole in episode 5, and then he gets redeemed off screen in episode 6, and then he feels remorse out of blue, and it's weird. And Ed actually wants to help people, and he apologizes to Izzy. What? You literally didn't care last episode. Like, that was the entire joke of the last episode. Ed doing all of this shit only to get accepted back on the ship. That rhymed. Only to get accepted back on the ship. And he didn't really care much, and everyone kind of feels like it, but no one really says anything except Lucius, and then he's made fun of for that. But then episode 6 just starts with him being very mopey and being like, oh, you did all these bad things. Like, yes, you did. You did. Why do you suddenly feel bad for it? You could argue that he's better after the scene with Fang, you know, the one where he's like, oh, I would actually like to man commands, but I don't know where I would start. And then Fang's like, shut the fuck up. So yeah, maybe he actually changed. Who knows? But to redeem him and make him kind of like too good for Stede, and make him leave Stede because he doesn't like what they're doing right now? To go catch fish? Like, yeah, okay, you know, that's the most reasonable part, actually. Ed is someone that would like to be a fisherman, you know, that's okay. But I genuinely don't believe that he would just sit there and watch Stede do all of these bad things and then just be like, oh yeah, I think I need to get away from him. I am not ready to deal with this shit. Like, what? By the way, I'm not victim blaming. Like, Ed is allowed to do that. I just feel like Ed would never, you know? I think he loved Stede too much to just leave him like that. Like, that's the entire reason why he even started redemption. Because he wanted to get back on the ship to be with Stede. So I don't think he would leave him. And to all of those people that wrote in my comments that Ed was actually never angry at Stede. He was angry at himself. So it made absolute and complete sense that when Stede returned, Ed forgave him so easily. You should think the same too, because then why would he just leave him? They just got back together. That's all he wanted. Does he want to take it slow? Yes, he was hurt for a long time, but this is just so insane. The fact that he didn't even tell Stede that he doesn't like what he's doing now, nor the fact that he actually wants to retire, because I personally think that Stede would retire with him, even though he likes being a pirate. I think he loves him more. It's just so weird. I hate that. Also, they ruined my asexual Blackbeard headcanon. Asexual Blackbeard headcanon. Yeah. To everyone that told me that Ed can still be asexual because asexuality is a spectrum. Because yes, you're right. Asexuality is a spectrum. Some asexual people like that. Personally headcanoned Ed as asexual sex repulse because I found it to be a really fun addition to his character. You know, the big bad, vulgar pirate that only cares about love and romance. Like, that would be so fun. I think it would be a fun contrast. But I'm not actually too sad about it not being true because, you know, it was only a headcanon. But what I am actually sad about is how that entire scene went down. Like, Stede just killed a man, felt bad for like 20 seconds, and then they fucked. Like, what I guess they try to imply is that Stede tried to cope with what just happened by distracting himself. But because they didn't really emphasize that fact, nor did they mention it, and it's not the viewer's job to search for context in scenes, then it just kind of felt like Stede got turned on because he was in control, and I really hate what that implies. And they push this further by making him the dominant one, and it just feels so weird and wrong because Stede was just traumatized and now they're doing that. Like, I wish Ed would just stop this while it was happening, you know, like he did at the moon kiss scene, and would be like, are you okay? You just killed the man. Why are we doing this? And then the fact that Ed regrets it the other day just feels also really wrong, because then the consent kind of is very blurry, and then it makes you wonder how much of it was Ed doing it because he actually wanted to do it, and how much of it was him just doing it because he wanted to make Stede feel better. And that is just so wrong. Like, that is not my Stede Bonnet. I don't care that he started being a narcissist and angry and just aggressive because he thinks he has to do that to become a pirate. My Stede Bonnet would never. He would never just pull Ed into this when Ed asked him to slow down literally last night. Anyways, that's it for this video. I just don't feel like talking about it too much. Most of the stuff I have to say is negative, and I just don't want to put out that negative energy. I don't want my videos to be like that. I usually talk about all the things that I'm passionate about the things that I love. And this is just becoming so weird. I don't want to talk about how much I hate my favorite show. What? Don't get me wrong. I still love this series. It will always be one of my favorites. I'm just sad that I can't really call it one of the best ones that I've seen now. I actually wouldn't make this video if I haven't seen so many comments with a little "see you next week" note at the end of it or something like that. It always warms my heart when someone writes that they actually wait for this video to come out and that they care about what I have to say. I appreciate it so much. I'm really sorry that I can't be as positive as I usually am. We have one more episode to go, and I genuinely don't know what to expect. I don't even feel like theorizing anymore. I'm just going to watch it and see what happens. Which sucks, because it's the season finale. Like, that should be one of the greatest episodes of the season. But I just can't bring myself to care too much, you know? This is third part of video series where I talk about all Our Flag Means Death season 2 episodes, so if you want to see more, then go check out my channel. And if you want to be notified when the last episode drops, then subscribe and click the little notification bell. If you want to hear more from me or just want to check out some of my mediocre art, then go follow me on Tumblr. I also have other social media like Instagram, TikTok, and that's actually it, so you can go check that as well. I love reading your comments, so go tell me your opinions on these 2 episodes. What did you think? Do you like all these arcs? What do you think is going to happen in the finale? Remember, you don't have to agree with me on anything. This is all just my dumb opinions. And if you genuinely like this season, then you're free to do that. Like, I'm just some little guy. Ignore me. Anyways, I'm off now. Have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Whatever this is, it's just gonna turn me on.
Oh, really? Go fuck yourself.